Do Falcons do? We rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, a show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Dog, and a lifelong sports fan. Guys, we are coming back to you today. We have the schedule release. There's about to be a long dead period of no NFL news, but I get to make predictions on how the NFL games are going to go. I get to make predictions on all of the divisions. Those will be videos that are coming out here in the near future. And most importantly, I am going to get to go to probably at least 2 away games this year. One of those being Las Vegas, which will be around Christmas time. Have some friends that have been planning on going to that one pending any awful scheduling results. So I'm looking very forward to that one, and it is a Monday Night Football game. But let's just go through this really quickly here, guys. So let's start out week 1. We get the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Going to be a really tough matchup. I'm not making predictions on the game, but we open up with them. We open up then the next week after having zero primetime games in 2023. We have 4, and the first of which is going to be coming in week 2. We go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk about having to go to a really hard team here. We have the tough defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we have a very tough defense, very tough secondary, and have to defend against Jalen Hurts at the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be incredibly difficult. And then we have a game that I had hoped would be later, but I actually think because there's going to be a lot of wide receiver newness in the room, we come back with Sunday Night Football in week 3, Kansas City Chiefs. I have not had the opportunity to go to a Sunday Night Football game in any of my 6 seasons as a Falcons season ticket holder. Now, some of that has been because of scheduling, just not being able to make it, having too many commitments the next day. I now, as an attending physician, can make some scheduling changes on my own, and I can make sure that I am not having to work the next day, or that I can schedule myself to where I'm not just absolutely dead the next day. But I am very much looking forward to seeing Patrick Mahomes in person. But we come back week 4, and we have the New Orleans Saints, the first of 5 division games before our bye week. And our bye week is week 12, so we have 11 games, and 5 of them are divisional games before that time frame. So we have the New Orleans Saints. We get them at home. Definitely a game that I'm going to be at September 29th. That one's going to be awesome. It's always fun to play the Saints. They're our most hated rivals. And again, we get hate week early this year. Next, we go Thursday Night Football, another primetime game, the third one in 5 weeks. In the first 5 weeks in the NFL, we have 3 primetime games of Thursday Night Football. And this will be tough. It's going to be really tough playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It will be at home, and again, another game that I'm intending to be at, but it'll be at home. It'll be a tough matchup just because we're going to be coming off of a short week. God forbid there are any injuries here, but this is going to be a really tough schedule to open up with. And then after that, week 6, we go to Carolina. So 3 straight divisional games, weeks 4, 5, and 6. Then we come back. We have the Seattle Seahawks at home. We then turn around and a week later go to Tampa Bay. And then week 9, Dallas Cowboys are coming. So none of this is easy so far. We have definitely a front-heavy schedule in terms of difficulty if you're just looking at it on paper. Then, again, week 10, go to the New Orleans Saints. So we'll be done with the New Orleans Saints by middle of the season. So we'll kind of have an idea of where we stand on that. I'm very surprised the NFL did not put us with them as kind of the end of the season, because it's very likely that one of these 2 teams is going to be the division winner for the NFC South. And oftentimes they'll try to predict that ahead of time and see if that makes sense to try and put them in a primetime game or a more crucial matchup towards the end of the season. But this year, we're doing them all before week 10. And then again, we get to the Denver Broncos at Denver in week 11. So it'll be a cold game. It's November 17th. It's not going to be warm, but hopefully there's no snow on the ground by that point. So we do get one of our cold games out of the way early. We turn around, have a bye week, week 12, week 13. We get the Los Angeles Chargers again at home. I believe we played them at home last year. We may have gone to them last year, but we played them basically 3 straight years, it feels like, just because of the way the schedules have worked out. But we're getting the Chargers, get them at home. That'll be week 13, so could be difficult and hard to tell. And then week 14, this is the one that has probably one of the biggest storylines with it. This is the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to Minnesota December 8th. That'll be big. That's Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota. There's going to be a lot of storylines about that one, and assuming he's still healthy, that will probably be one of the big talking points for the NFL that week. We come back and we go to the Las Vegas Raiders. I will be at that game. That's going to be awesome. I'm already planning with some of my boys. That should be a great one. It's going to be Monday Night Football, the fourth primetime game. So Monday Night Football is going to be awesome. And then we come back week 17 and 18. We don't actually know the days yet because the NFL is going to have some availability on Saturdays and Sundays. So we're either playing the Commies at Washington December 28th or 29th. We don't know the time of that game yet. I assume it'll be a 1 o'clock game. I just don't know when we're playing it. I hate going to Washington that late in the season because, again, FedEx Field along with the Meadowlands is one of the worst fields for injuries. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. I think I missed week 16 here. We get the Giants. I missed the Giants. December 22nd. I don't know if I'll be at this one. That's going to be Christmas time. There's a lot of events going on, family stuff, all of that. So I don't know that I'll be at that game. It's just always tough to have a home game around the holidays. But anyways, don't have to worry about that one too much. I think we can beat the Giants at home for sure. Again, glad we don't have to go to the Meadowlands for that one. But Washington Commies the week after. That's going to be a tough game just because of the stadium. I'm not particularly worried about the Washington. We should have a good idea of what Jaden Daniels is at that point. I'd rather get him early in the season when he's a rookie. He's still trying to figure it out. He'll have hit his stride at that point. And God forbid, I do not want that man to get injured, but he could certainly get injured playing at FedEx Field. They need to move on from that field as soon as possible. And then week 18, we're going to close out with Carolina. I expect that to be a win, but we'll see what happens. As far as games that I am going to, I will definitely be going to our season closer, whatever time that may be, Carolina. I'm not going to our season opener. I do have a Pittsburgh Steelers fan that will be going to that game in my stead. He has said he may wear a House Divided shirt because he does like the Falcons when they're not playing the Steelers, so we'll see what happens there. We'll be going to the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be going to New Orleans. I will probably get a chance. I have some contacts at Carolina, and it's not that far from me, so I probably can go to a 4:25 game on Sunday, October 13th. Probably not going to be a big issue there. Seattle Seahawks is kind of up in the air right now. I don't really know about that one. Don't know if I'm going to go to that or if I'll maybe give that one away. I will be going to the Dallas Cowboys game with a longtime friend who's a Dallas Cowboys fan. So that one will be fun to go to. Chargers, I always enjoy going. I don't know if I will. But Josh Harris, pseudo-friend of the channel, friend of mine in real life. He is still their long snapper, and he's a former Falcons great, so it'd be great to have him back. It's always good to see him on the field pregame, going out and meeting Younghoe Koo and giving him the dap up just out on the field there. So it's always great to see that. And then we have the New York Giants game. I'm probably not going to that. That's a tough one. I'll probably be with family one way or another. Probably have my dogs with me, so that's not going to work out to really go back and go through Atlanta to even go to that game, so that's not a great idea. But again, Carolina, we'll go to the Carolina game, so we'll see. And I think I missed it, but I'll go to the Thursday Night Football Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. But yeah, it's going to be a front-loaded schedule for sure. It's going to be a tough one. I will have actual predictions on these games coming out in the near future. As I go through and predict our record, I'll do a few things. I always do a floor, I do a ceiling, and I do what my actual prediction probably is going to be. And then I'll talk about how the divisions shake out. I will do all 8 divisions for the NFL as we go through the coming weeks, probably over the next 3 to 4 weeks. We'll talk about any free agent news as that comes available. But yeah, guys, we're entering into a little bit of a dead time until we get some training camp stuff. I'm probably going to go to a training camp on a Wednesday in July, so we'll see how that goes. I didn't even talk about our preseason games because who the heck cares? But I do have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the only home preseason game that we get. They're going to be on the last week 3 of the preseason, August 23rd. Look for a lot of Michael Penix to be playing there, so that might be one that's worthwhile to go see. Won't have a lot of other starters going on at that point, but again, Michael Penix, I expect to get a ton of work during the preseason, so definitely going to be worthwhile to watch. But thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and as always, rise up.